Hi, my name is Challa Prabhu. I am a former Microsoft MVP and also an MVP for Microsoft Excel. So why this presentation is because many of them must be using Microsoft Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and then Microsoft Access, and most of the things that are currently being used today to import or bring in or extract data from external source to Power BI. My in my emphasis here is how do you understand in-process communication or out-process communication. You might be working on various functionality features and all that, but you should understand they are called as in-process communication or out-process communication. In-process communication is it having a multiple applications sharing a single process, okay. And then if you have a out-process communication, which means you have an n number of applications open in different process, and they okay, different process. So that's why we would like to do. So we'll be trying to I'll be showing a demo using Task Manager as to how in-process of communication, out-process communication works. So the next, so here if you see, I've put a slide on Srini Kopolo because he brought this technology way back using OLE, COM, Windows, Office 97. So most of the features that you are currently seeing were there right from the inception when the Microsoft Office made its presence as an Office suite. It was a productivity suite and much of the functionality was being used. So there were times when people used to say why you need a Microsoft Office with a Pentium processor because it's a desktop application. But none of them really came forward to really understand why does it really require a processor and how will the user who is using the Microsoft Office product will actually go in delivering certain products with a way that they can make use of reusability and working with a collaborative way with all the applications within the Office suite. One of the examples that I would like to cite here is if you use I have not seen many of them really using form letters to an extent that the HR should have actually used. Had they used this, then they would have used the Microsoft process. They would have used a processor in the system very efficiently in combining two Word files, one with the one with the address, and other with the real content, and then switching at the runtime between based on certain conditional logic. They never tried that. Second is we're also talking about Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel was mostly limited to the financial department, where a lot of number crunching was there, and they used to have a lot of invoices, purchases, and so this was mostly used in the purchase department and as well as in the financial department. Today, because Power BI has become very popular and they want to extract much of the data from Microsoft Excel in the form of worksheet, pivot table, and many other aspects. If you see today, Microsoft Excel has become a little bit of popular. So it is, and today, and so therefore, I would like to thank Mr. Srini Kopolo for giving us such a beautiful application because it not only gave us an application to create a day-to-day task, but it has got a domain knowledge built into the product knowledge. Okay, it also has object-oriented programming of a class or object collections built into it. Okay, so you need an analogy. Whenever you work on any product, you need to have an analogy. Without analogy, it will be very difficult to correlate things to make meaningful decisions in your life. But finally, end of the day, it's all data driven. So if I want to bring in some data into a different application, I have to extract a certain data from that large data source, which means I want to have a record set object of the whole record that I would like to bring into a different application. So thank you, Srini Kopolo, once again, and now I'll move on to Microsoft Word. So before going here, I'd like to I'll close this application. I'll close this application because we don't need this. Now, I've opened a Task Manager here. So in this Task Manager, what you currently see is a demo. You see the demo, which is called the Demo Creator Recorded and Task Manager, because Task Manager I've opened it. Now I'll open a Microsoft Word document for your information. Okay, and then I'll open a new document here. I'll make it short. So this is called as a. Now I'll go back to the Task Manager and see. Now you see Microsoft Word has opened in the process. So there are three processes running. Okay, and again I'll bring back a Microsoft Excel here. Okay, I'll say new blank Excel here. Now I'll make it smaller. Now come back to the Excel here, go to Task Manager. You will see Word, Excel, Demo Creator and Task Manager. These are the 4 tasks that are running in my system. So there are 2 different words that quite often being used by experts called as semaphores and threads. You can also say that these are the number of threads that are currently running in my processor. So, okay, they are sharing different memory space. Okay, so they are not part of one single application where they are running 2-3 applications together. Now I like to close this application, open Microsoft Word document. Okay, make this layout orientation landscape. Now now if you see, I'm want you to keep track of the task manager. Okay, now I'm coming here, then bringing object, the worksheet. Okay, so what? So this is an Excel file. Like how do you know this Excel file? Because okay, so I'll just see. You see all the functionality here. Got it. So if you see here, I have brought in Microsoft Excel file inside the Microsoft Word document. I'll also use most of the functionality of what Microsoft Excel provides in my application inside my Microsoft Word document, and I've created this total and also verified from where are those totals coming from. Okay, so now because Excel is there inside the Microsoft Word document, let me go and see the Task Manager. What does it show? The Task Manager, it does not show Microsoft Excel. It doesn't show Microsoft Excel, although I have Microsoft Excel inside a Microsoft Word document. It is a single application being in process. Okay, in process communication. In process communication. So also you'll have only one. So it's part of it. So so this is basically telling that you are saying the same memory, same space, and then you are having 2 applications, 1 application. So if you can think beyond this, you can think what else could be the other way of in-process communication, out-process communication. But just using Microsoft Excel just for the sake of arrays, just finding being a financial data and using some functions, you have to also understand technology. That otherwise there's no meaning in using any software application for the matter. And one more thing, because these applications coming from leading vendor products, global vendor products, there is always going to be something that will help you understand and learn domain knowledge through product knowledge. That's very essential. Now, why I'm even beyond Power BI, I just want to tell this because if you just decide well in advance which document and content needs to be well organized in a particular application, you can use this application very well. So now, where is a real life example? If you want to say use case, if you go to the Chrome browser or any browser, well in before you had Microsoft Internet Explorer, you had Navigator, Netscape Navigator, you also had this, you have got Firefox. So the real analogy where you could really find this is in case you go to when you open a browser and open a PDF file inside the browser, that is an in-process communication. Okay, so it means the moment I come here, I open. If you assume this is Microsoft Word as a browser, and I open the Microsoft Excel inside the particular browser, then all the menus that you see here, okay, they are all Microsoft Excel. Similarly, when you open a PDF file or Word document inside the browser or Excel file inside my browser, all the menus on the top will no longer be related to the particular browser. They'll all be related to the application that document that you're seeing within the browsers. But when you quit it, then you get all the internet-based menus on the top. And also, there's one point that I would like to mention is, see, there are a lot of domain knowledge they have given. Okay, a few years back, people are talking about API. Okay, API. Microsoft was the first company to bring REST API when Internet Explorer was there. The query string parameters were brought by Microsoft. The common object resource brokerage architecture was brought by Microsoft. Thereafter came the simple object as a protocol, SOAP. Then came the REST API. Then you say n number of APIs are coming thereafter. So it is not that you are learning everything now. They all existed several years back. Okay, so only thing is you never had that thing of working together on this APIs because it was only people are working on software development kit on Windows, software development kit on many other operating systems they want to work on. So it was in that particular situation then. They were so you could find this application supported onto Apple Macintosh, and they had the same. There are n number of variations and iterations of this product that are getting released. So this in-process communication, out-process communication is very important because it will make you feel how you want to work on the software. You can also use this particular thing. You can also use this particular Excel file, and then you can also create a graph in this particular thing. So it becomes very. You do not have to go to a different open an Excel file, then bring that a chart or a columns or any references into this particular document. You can have it inside the one single document. So that's what is, and you click on task manager, this give. Maybe what I am showing you may not be the way that you might probably see because of some version updates that might happen in Windows 10, 11 and what it may be. But this is a way in order to understand. So I'm really thankful to have my operating system this way to make you understand what is in-process communication or process communication. And there are many more that you will be learning in the due course if I have find time to just bring it inside. That domain, you can have to learn domain knowledge through product knowledge. Okay. And there's a one. If you come here, you can just quit, exit Word, it will go away. Then you open the Word, you will get this particular the embedded Excel inside the particular document. Now what I'm doing is I'm creating a new Word document where there are many things people don't know. Means they probably might have used it. People might be using Adobe File, people might have used Adobe FrameMaker, people might have used Adobe Captivate. So if you see there, most of the people who are using Adobe Captivate are using Microsoft PowerPoint as a storyboard. Okay, so thereafter today Microsoft PowerPoint has become very powerful today, where you could really create a e-learning solutions now, which those particular time was not possible, so they were bringing that. So the source data always used to be from Microsoft. And similarly, if you see that what I'm going to show now is trying to bring in multiple Word files in one single file. Why? Because see, I don't want. For example, if you use if you use Adobe FrameMaker, you have to generate a book. You have multiple chapters to generate a book. Fine, but also here also in Word, if I come here, and say navigation pane, I can have a navigation pane and try to manage all this like how you manage in Adobe FrameMaker, sorting out those particular chapters. Similarly, and if you go to Adobe Photoshop, you got layers of photos. Okay, so you can go to a specific layer and start manipulating or try to modify those particular images and then flatten it and make it as a one single image file. Here also in Adobe FrameMaker, you just put all the chapters and run it as a book and have one single book of all the chapters in that particular thing. Here I am also trying to show the same thing. In case if I want to have a multiple Word files in one single document, I will go to Home, Insert, and here you got this objects. Okay, now I'll come to text from file. The text from file is the file that is going to combine all the documents in one single file. Okay, now let me go here and find out where is the Word file for me. Okay, I'll just bring here, then I'll say press Control, then STC submission, and all this, whatever it may be. Now I'll come and say insert. If you see that all these documents have been created for you. See, they have combined all the documents as one single document. Okay, you can see even this. The one of the documents which I have written is this. I wrote this in LinkedIn article. you can go and see about how a content strategy can work. And this is basically why I wrote this. I am telling this, the three giant wheel or four-way wheel are basically the Microsoft Office product, like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint and all that, running in collaboration with one single piston, which is going to share all these reusable components like a dictionary, spell checker, thesaurus into one single one, and trying to drive this from one single small wheel in the front, which is called as a Microsoft Office. So this is a real-time analogy that I want to tell people, that you have to work in collaboration in order to achieve something in your life. Okay. So by the way, I would like to conclude this telling that this is called as in-process communication. This is called as in-process communication and out-process communication. And if you go and talk to the experts in the field of software industry, you have to talk them in the way of semaphores and threads. Okay, they are all different tasks. They will say that, okay, and you know which task you have to. Suppose you have multiple tasks, you see a lot of memory being used by some application. You can go and kill this particular process, or you can say, you can put an end to the process, telling not to be active, or you can probably say you can inactivate that particular process. So this is the overview of the whole thing that it shows you about your system. It tells you about the CPU memory that's taking place, the memory, the disk, the network, all these details. So in-process communication also, you can go and you'll see that it's taken very less memory. Okay, so this is a way you try to analyze and optimize your in-process communication, out-process communication. So overall, if you see, I've given you a lot of analogy in the last couple of three presentations that I've created earlier. One is on the name definition, other one is called as the pivot table, and now I'm bringing the in-process communication, out-process communication. So thank you very much. My name is Challa Prabhu. I hope you enjoyed this presentation.